All right. Just gonna get stuff set up. Hopefully I'm doing things right. All right, as soon as people show up, type 22 in the comment section so I can start figuring this out to see if we're good or if we have some tech issues. Oh, good. Hi, guys. Yay, I'm so glad you guys are here. Maybe you guys can help me troubleshoot this before Vinny gets up here. You see nothing? There, you see no issues? Okay. Oh, wait. What do you mean you see no issues? You don't see anything? Oh, no. People are saying hi, Sori. That means... Oh, wait. Can you guys see anything? Or is it coming in weird? Okay, we're live, babe. Can you guys hear the music in the background?
Are we chippy?
What's up, Jay? No, I think everything's here.
Is Jay here?
Jay's here, yeah?
My Jay?
Jay Dispirited, right
River
there.
is here.
Yep.
Randy Williamson is here. Johan Enriquez is here. We got the crew. We got a squad.
All right.
And you can hear us loud and clear. Thank you very much, Sydney. Eubanks.
What's up? I'm sorry. I love
Why?
you.
What happened?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know what you're apologizing for, Randy Williamson, but we're good. In my view, anyway. Okay. Where's Mike, though? Where's DJ Mike?
Oh, I'm sure he's...
We're waiting for the big homie.
He's probably assuming that we were going to,
Start with that?
A little 15 minutes late.
Oh,
but do you have
yeah,
is everything good? Can you just
time.
Double check to make sure I've got everything?
Oh, don't worry about that, Randy. That's how that's supposed to go. That website is designed that way. So no, that was cool, bro. I didn't even. Nah, there's nothing you even needed to apologize for, my guy. We're just all trying to figure this shit out together. You know what I mean?
The artist formerly known
as Jesse say what?
Oh. I didn't see that one.
Speaking of which, let me reach out to Delaney.
Ooh.
We are live. Where'd she go?
And don't forget Amy Lee Forever too. I don't have my
are live.
My stuff on my phone yet. You guys, literally my phone screen just like stopped working. As a matter of fact, I was actually in the middle of doing something and I thought that perhaps I was being hacked. That's what I really thought. Because my phone started freaking out all over the place. And then I was in the middle of texting somebody that I'm not super familiar with. And my photos, everything was like popping off. I was like, what is happening? I was like, it's going to start sending my social security number. I was a little bit worried. But turns out it was just like the screen dying. I wasn't being hacked. Yeah, we have Avenged Sevenfold up tonight.
Oh yeah.
And Trivium. Yep. And then there's a couple bands we haven't heard of before.
Shout out to the big homie Applejack. I'm gonna send you an email. Finish my first full length song. I want you guys to be the first to hear it. Oh my god, that'd be great. I'd love to finish a full length song too.
Can you double check to make sure
you react like my mom when she had technology for hacks.
Yes, I felt, and then when I went to get like the stuff
Nick
figured
Haas
out,
in the house.
I felt like that the person that was helping me was like a kid, but they weren't. They were pretty close to my age, but I felt like way behind the times as I was like trying to explain what was going on. So
with the phone?
Yeah. The Apple guy, he was nice, but I just felt like I was 85 instead of 40. Anyway.
I'm here for the Uriah Heep and Chambers Brothers.
Oh, you weren't excited about the Beatles?
You weren't excited about the Beatles song that we're doing? Wow, that's trash. I love you guys.
Applejack,
my boyfriend Russell got me turned on to
Samsung.
y'all. I actually went to several concerts in New England and met you guys. He says hi, by the way. Yo, what's up, Beth?
Yeah, I remember you.
Shout out to Beth. Yeah. Gang shit. Gang shit. That's crazy. Man, I wish we could. I want to go to a show.
Yeah, you remember Russell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He was the first person to buy you a beer.
Yeah.
Was it Nerval said?
It was the Behemoth show, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, get those Christians a beer.
I was pregnant. I couldn't have one. We still know... maybe I should message the homie.
Did you guys get the dates confused?
No, we've been talking all day. It's obviously today. You got my phone? Thanks.
Yeah, I was chilling with the homie Russell after the Slipknot concert was the last concert I saw him at. Yeah, we're at the pizza joint.
Wait, babe, I'm not gonna have all my stuff signed into over here. Can you are you signed in to my secret email?
There he is. I hope everyone's having a good summer. All right, there it is. The man himself has arrived. Shout out to the big homie Mike Franco. Gang shit. Boom, boom. First song on the docket, dear listener, is it Mass Confusion?
Is it what?
Is that it? Dust Bolt by Mass Confusion?
I think, yes.
Is that song number 1?
Yep. But I left Trello open for you over there.
All right. All right, guys. This is looking really, really good. Song number 1. Is there a little thingamajiggy you can read off? Oh, really? Okay, yeah. Here we go. Dust Bolt, Mass Confusion, DJ Mike, Vid and Sori. You know what's about to go down. Let's check it out right now. Not expected that. Let's go. Stop yourself with bullets of the Frank's control guides. Religious lights and media down. Fully the channels your whole mind. You're not supposed to this but though. For violence and pain. As presented by this preset code. It is the self that we've been trying. Hypocritical,
Everybody lives. Everybody with compassion.
We're gonna do that.
Numero uno.
Okay, all right. There was some punk influence in that one.
Yeah, the vocal style was really punky.
Yes, yeah.
Mega punky on the on the vocal style for sure,
Okay, I see that.
All right, so first of all,
but it was.
Go ahead.
It changed a lot, like prog does, but it didn't sound like prog.
Yeah, it was thrash with a little sprinkling of progressive, I think.
Yeah.
Like
just
what
little...
Dwayne was saying in the comment sections, like it's it might be a relationship song. So
oh no, I didn't read the lyrics. So.
Which it kind of is a relationship song to a degree, I think. But like, yeah, Sonic. It's interesting because like if you were to ask me, do you like thrash? I generally don't like thrash as a genre. It's kind of because I feel they sound the same all the time. But like when I'm away from thrash and then I hear a thrash band, especially when I'm not expecting it, it's like that. Like I love especially when you add the bass drums with the build up for the rising action for the breakdown in the middle. Like that's my shiz.
I think I've always liked punk and the sound of punk, so I appreciated the punk in there, like the vocal style.
Yeah, I figured you'd like punk because it's kind of like it's got that teenage boy vibe. You know,
Immature.
Like the immature. So, yeah.
Well, you know what it reminds me of? Actually, it reminds me of not necessarily the song, but the idea of punk, but that type of vocal style. It reminds me of skateboarding, summer times, and being with friends. So, yeah, I think it does have that sort of...
Good memories, yeah.
Definitely.
So, okay, lyrics. I was having a hard time getting the lyrics up there. Found yourself in bullets under flak of control guides. Religious lines and media folded and channeled the whole mind. You're not supposed to dispute, though. We sprawl in violence and pain. As we're fattened by these preset codes, it is ourselves who we betray. So it looks like
you're following the system and you betray yourself in the process.
Yeah. I don't know what year this song came out, but it definitely obviously has ramifications for today.
Oh, no.
Was it 2003?
I don't know.
Mike would know. But like this is one of those things where like you could have written this 10, 15 years ago and it'd be absolutely applicable, but it's like more applicable now even. Mm-hmm. It is true, like the certain magisterial authorities that you're not allowed to question. Like I was listening to Sam Sater, and he had this dude on, and he was talking. I wonder if we're
thinking the same thing. Go ahead.
He was talking about Christo-fascism and fascism, and you know, like I'm exhausted. Everything that a certain group of people does gets called fascist, and like the term fascist really doesn't mean much coming from those people. But anyway, the dude was talking about fascism and religion, and he told us, and it was basically the right wingers are fascists, and then it was like your friend. It was some of it like I laughed, just because like I cannot imagine looking at the world like that the way that dude was talking, but he was like, you know, this could happen to your friend, because he told this story about this woman, and she was like a regular, you know, lefty, whatever. And then COVID happened, and then he goes, she started researching for herself.
No.
And when he said that, the whole panel was kind of like, oh no.
What? Really?
Yeah, I was like, oh, we know what's coming.
Oh, no.
When people start thinking for themselves.
Then all of a sudden they think that
The long story short, I guess she jumped into a car because she started saying all this QAnon stuff to her friends, and they thought that it was all a big joke. And then like she jumped into her car and like rammed people supposedly because she was trying to save the children that this person had kidnapped or whatnot. But it was just it's obviously that woman had other issues well before the COVID lockdown that I'm sure, to me, like when I'm hearing that story, I'm like, yeah, the COVID lockdown seems to be a lot more responsible for this woman's meltdown
her personal research
than what she saw on the internet. But he completely like decontextualized COVID and just said like she got radicalized because she started looking at things up for herself. I thought that was a very fascinating moment in the show.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about, and don't ask me who it was that was doing the talking, you might remember, but there was two guys talking, and then one of them was saying how, like, you can be talking to, it was Andrew Tate, where they become agents of the state, basically. But I think that he was right in that. He was saying, like, you can have a regular conversation with somebody, no issue, whatever, and then all of a sudden you bring up, like, everything's going great, and then you bring up something that's like one particular topic that they're like, people are like brainwashed to give certain answers, and then they switch. And I was like, yeah, that even happens with religion and other areas too, where people just shut down and there's no thinking beyond what they're used to going on, the path that their brains are used to going on. So yeah, questioning the authority.
Yeah, and then on the other side, there was another, probably the most brilliant observation I've seen in 2023. And that's because what I'm about to say that this guy said is something that I'm struggling with on a daily basis. So he goes, there has been, the COVID, even the GY, Global War on Terror, et cetera, to where the common person now on the street doesn't believe that the media is telling them the truth. Like one example is, none of us believes Epstein killed himself. Right. None of us believes that.
Right.
And so then that's this other thing about, this is the conspiracy theory. It's like, well, the Epstein thing is a conspiracy theory too. But it's just so blatant that it's impossible to just disregard it. But these people absolutely would disregard. So it's like all of mainstream media is like massively suspect to all of us.
Oh, well, yeah.
But then he said, people won't take something as credible unless they see it from one of those outlets.
But they're right. They're right.
I thought that was such a fascinating observation.
Because I see you a lot of times, like you'll find something and then you do your search and there it is, it's on CNN, there it is, it's on, you know what I mean? Like, and the more of those outlets that it's on, the more it's like, well, okay.
Correct. And that's really a hole in my epistemology right now, because it's like, well, I know that these guys are all paid propagandists. And then 10% of them are like true believers on their side. I'd say Tucker is one. I'd say, Rachel Maddow is one, like, true believer. Like, she was going to stay with that Russiagate shit no matter how many times she embarrassed herself. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you got to ask yourself, well, where do you go then? And how do you ascertain what's true? And it's funny, like, BC was in here when the Roe v. Wade thing got leaked. Not when it actually was decided, but when the leak happened. And he was the first one to break it to me. And I jumped on CNN, and CNN hadn't updated it, and I laughed. I was like, there's no way. Like, if Roe v. Wade got overturned, like, it'd be all over CNN. Well, an hour later, it was on CNN. So, like, 2 or 3 songs in, I was like, holy shit. He's like, I told you. I'm like, oh, my God.
How do you know?
So, he had gotten it from, wherever, an uncredible source. So, it's really difficult. I don't know. I really don't know what the solve is. I mean, I don't believe a word these people have to say. I don't even believe the videos they show. Like I know,
yeah.
Like,
weren't they the ones that made Joe Rogan look green and
yeah,
then
CNN,
like they actually
yeah.
doctor those, they change those photos.
Yeah, and then they turn like ivermectin and like something that's been like known as like a miracle drug globally. Like they made people think ivermectin was terrible, and like all types of crazy shit that the media did in service of whatever. And again, like the COVID situation is like a confluence of so many issues. You had the George Floyd unrest, you had people being forced in their houses, you had, I mean, honestly, people who didn't know how to deal with their children because they had institutionalized them in the public school system.
Yes.
People were having a really difficult time knowing what to do with their kids.
Well, I think the other thing,
like,
too,
it sounds crazy, but it was a problem.
I mean, we saw it around where we lived. All of a sudden, all these gangs started popping off.
Yep.
People were bored. The kids were bored. They weren't in schools. They were like, and the parents were probably like, get out of here.
Yeah, definitely. Like, our kids were fine, but that's because
they were acclimated to it.
they're already acclimated.
Yeah, but I think
the neighborhood went crazy. That's right.
I think another thing that affected people was the fear of death. Because I think it made it a lot more of a reality. And that's actually, like, aside from public speaking, that's a big fear of a lot of people.
100%.
The reality that all of a sudden,
100%.
whoa, it could be over. And you were hearing of people, you know, again, you were hearing it from the news, but you were hearing of people, like, dying within days.
Uh-huh.
So at the very beginning, it just felt like it was like this, especially if you have any sort of OCD or anything. Like,
right.
It's like there's this cloud of, like, contamination that's killing us all. And
yeah.
Are you ready to die? And are you ready for, you know, I don't.
And you know what's interesting is, like, I'm way more mad at the CDC than I am about our elected leaders on the Democrat or the Republican side. Because in my view,
I agree with you 100%.
In my view, they were.
I thought the CDC.
They were doing the best with what they had. You know, Pelosi was like, I'm going to Chinatown, blah blah blah. I'm going to hug a bunch of Asian people. Because she was mad at Trump for the China, you know, the China thing where they couldn't come over, but he ended up being right. But then there are other things where Trump ended up being wrong. Like, I give everybody a blank check on that in the government. But the CDC is a completely separate issue. But there's just a lot of confusion. You know, because the name of I don't know if the name of the song is Mass Confusion or if it's just the name of the band. The name of the...
I thought that was the name of this.
I think Dust Bolt
was the name of the song, right?
No, Mass Confusion is the name of the band. Dust Bolt seems to be the
name of the song.
But like, if you just look, like, dreams lie smashed or laid to rest, live substances purchased in a can. Can't you see that he who's not burning will never ever fan the flame? Breastfeeding our suppressed lives and thickening it with blood they gained out of war. Subordinated and bent, good saluting to by choice. We swap maturity to conform. It's hypocritical, all the lies.
The song is Mass Confusion.
Oh, the name of the song is Mass Confusion. Hey!
What's up, Hal?
I don't know if you want to change that name and avatar, but hey, to who you are, you know who you are. To cover up our eyes, tearing down the right, the Christian element of the right, there is a confluence between media and the church. You know, people talk about the prison industrial complex and all these other complexes, but the media church complex is a doozy, and they play off of each other.
What do you mean?
Oh, so for example, Jeff Noblet, who's Paul Washer's pastor.
Okay.
He gets up there. He's got like 15,000 he speaks to every week in Alabama, wherever they are, and he basically said, like, offhand, the only news you should watch is Fox News. Amen, because nobody else is telling the truth. So this is a guy that's got not ultimate authority because they're Protestants, but he's got a bunch of authority and a bunch of cachet with all those people, and he's telling those people only to watch Fox News. And Fox News has this shell of morality. They'll talk about God. So there's like a confluence between both of those groups. And so he talked about religion in the media. And like, when I first heard the song, I'm like, okay, so for Christians, it's your religious leaders, and then for secularists, it's the media person. But it's not really like that. Even if you're a Christian, you have an entire media package that is, you know, curated just for you and your evangelical sensibilities. That's why I listen to people I disagree with a lot. So I was listening to this guy talking about the rise of Christofascism or whatever. But it was interesting because there's a very significant block of evangelicals that you have to convince that somehow, some way, you're God's man. And they were talking about how in the world was Trump able to accomplish such a feat? Right? Like, because that was the other thing. I remember like being so confused. Like, I don't believe Trump is the demon everybody says that he is. I don't believe that any of these people are as good or as bad as their fans or their haters say they are. But Trump is not the paragon of Christian virtue.
No, he's not. But remember, there was like those churches that were prophesying that he was going to be Trump, and remember we watched that thing?
Yeah.
And then it was kind of like pigeonholing people into voting for him because they wanted to be a part of the prophecy.
God's will. Yeah. And that they had a crisis because they were saying the same prophets were prophesying he was going to get reelected. So, and so like people were holding on to it like, well, he did get elected, but the election was still in, so the prophecy still
it still applies.
It still applies. That should go. It's like, why didn't you tell us there was going to be a sham president for 4 years instead of telling us that Trump was going to be the president? Well, he is the president. It's like
false prophet.
Like he's literally not the president. Like he's literally not the president. Oh my God. Shout out. I mean, it's incredible.
I know, and he says it's like some of the like, what did he called one of the books of the Bible something different? Yeah,
we were just the Christian church was just taking a bunch of losses during the Trump. There's just no two way about it's like what Amy's talking about, where it's like he held the Bible upside down while he was gassing these people. Like, it's just incredible. It's just incredible. I love the song. Really strong first song. 9.7, man. I really, really enjoyed this song. This might be one of the songs that accompanies me on my run tonight. I'm not sure. But 9.7.
For your girl. 9.1.
9.1. Stay tuned, dear listener. We are on the track to be right back. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Fit out.
Sorry, up.
Go. And we're back.
We're now selling that hairstyle.
You love
if you guys
that
want it, let us know. We'll
you love that commercial. Hey, rustling out.
Hey, you made it.
Your girl was just sitting here representing for y'all. Gang. Okay, guys, song
I misunderstood for a second who she was. I thought she was the one that was the ear piercer.
No.
Right, and then I realized after. All right, up next, Trello, babe.
Is Triuvium, a gunshot wound to the head of trepidation.
And don't forget, there was one song I couldn't download. I did email Franco about it, so you can check that.
Is it that song?
No, it's not that one. You can play that one. I'm just letting you know that that's going to be coming in the future. The link that he sent me, we kept downloading something else. It was weird, Franco, because when I clicked on the link you sent, it brought me to your channel and the video that you posted. But then when I would move it to another app and I tried multiple ones to download it, it would download this other thing of like these two blonde kids having a conversation.
Was it a playlist?
No. Well,
like last time?
I don't think so. I think it was just the one song. But anyway, I emailed him about it, so he may have responded by now. So.
All right, guys, here we go.
Okay,
Triuvium.
Let's go.
A gunshot to the head of trepidation. This is going to be very, very interesting to check out.
What's trepidation? Like going
like fear,
falling back, like pulling back.
Yeah, fear, like fear that makes you go backwards. Trepidation.
Oh, okay. I'm with the title. Let's go.
Of course you are. Talk to the people.
Okay. You guys, since I told you about my broken phone, when I had to go places today, I literally had to write down the directions on a paper and check mark it as it was going down the list. Got a little crazy. Because at the same time, the power steering went in my vehicle. It was a little bit hectic for a second there. But I survived, and here we are. What happened?
Just keep talking to the people.
Okay, I don't have the comment section. So just think of things. I like the idea of a gunshot to the head of fear. I've been thinking a lot about fear. Fear is, actually says in the Bible 365 times, I believe. I'm correct, right? Fear not. Which is kind of crazy because that's how many days there are in a year. So there's one for every day of the year. Don't be afraid. Fear not. We'll be playing that momentarily.
Let me put the video.
Oh, and thanks for the comment section. Oh, there's a delay, Hal. I don't know if there's anything we can do about it. Sometimes it, like, I noticed the last stream that I was, like, breaking up. It got, like, choppy, and then it straightened itself out.
Is it on restream?
What does that mean?
All right, guys, give me a second.